It's Thursday, everybody. You're here for our edition of Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch. Got B. Wellington's on the chart. We've just been sitting here in this range for over 24 hours. It's been pretty boring, but there's a big move coming and the storm is brewing right now, folks. Let's get to the charts and see what's going on.
Well, we normally start on the daily, but I'm going to start on the 6 hour today just to give us a little bit different look at what's happening. So we're on ETH USD here. We've been here. We've had this wick. We recovered this wick here. We've hit these lows. We still have this low here that we haven't broken. But it seems like, we're starting to build a little bit momentum to the upside. We've had this vector candle that's come in on this side. But I just wanted to compare this to kind of what we're seeing on the Bitcoin side. And so the Bitcoin side, all these things move basically together. We have this huge wick, that's right here, and we're pretty damn close to it. We've got the 200 here, which we've normally rejected off of. You see, we just dropped below 30,000 on Bitcoin, so that's a big level of support. Dropped down into the 1780s on Ethereum as well. But if you believe that Ethereum and Bitcoin moves together, when Bitcoin takes that move to the downside to get that wick, we're probably going to see some more downside because Ethereum's already taken that wick out. So either two things are going to happen. One, Bitcoin's going to forget about that wick and move up. Therefore, Ethereum's going to move up. But that wick on Bitcoin gives me pause relative to say that we may get another wick to the downside before we move back up. But what this is on the 6 hours, so when that's going to happen, nobody knows, but that's just something to be conscious of. We do have 50 EMA and all these things pointing to the downside, which would indicate we're still in a downside pattern. If we look at a little higher time or lower time frames on the 1 hour, here we are. We've just opened up with the futures. We've got these two vector candles to the downside, so we've got some downside momentum, but it is early. I know looking at the market as well, futures were down this morning, so that could be a good indication that we'll be moving up later. So all these fast moves to the downside in the beginning of the session, I would say, could be a reversal. We have been in this range, basically 1800s, since yesterday. We really haven't gone anywhere. I would say that, maybe 20, 30 bucks that we've moved, overall. But here we are, and we do have some wicks down here that still need to be recovered, but we'll see how that goes. So, the big news tomorrow is we do have CPI printing tomorrow. We got some jobless claims and things of that nature coming out, but I think everybody's waiting on that CPI number tomorrow. But we are still within the psychological low and high. We've got yesterday's low down here at 1764. They do tend to bounce off of these ranges. And yesterday's high at 1837. So I would say, let's look to those ranges. And we've got the 200 right here, which we have rejected off of quite a few number of times. So
three times. 1, 2, 3.
The power of three. So, at this point, it starts to get trappy. Market tries to lull you into a behavior. And so if you're thinking it's going to reject this time and you go big, it just may not, and push forward and get you into another trap. So just be careful with that as well. If we go down to the 14-minute, again, we're to this downside. We've got this lower low here at, let's see, what is that at? 1775, which we could be approaching. We also have that 1769, but if I was to look at probability-wise, I would look at 1763 as yesterday's low, and then we have this wick right here, which may still need to be filled in somewhat. And so, from 1748, I'd be looking for a bounce, but then we also have this wick here. We've got all these labeled. And so, tight stops if you want them. If you're really patient, 1732 is great. And then 1722 being that last peak in there. So that would be only $10 a risk.
So you got red lines, you got green lines. What do those lines mean?
So the green lines
Or
line up.
longs? Is that the green
No,
dot?
no. The green lines are lines that line up with green vectors that were there in the past because they tend to come back to those vectors. And so if I have a peak, if I have a peak to the downside, and there has been a vector candle in that area, I'll just leave that green line because generally when they get to those areas again, you see either another vector somewhere around there, and so I'll look to that for that volatility. So that's why I put those there. But thanks for your observations.
You're very welcome.
Let's see here. We're back on. Let me get Ethereum back up. $5.1 billion. So we're at that almost at that $5 billion mark again. So they have knocked out some OI, some open interest. Looking at things like funding rate. We're pretty positive across the board, positive to neutral. 0.01 would be considered neutral, so anything less than that would be semi-neutral, even if it's below that. But overall, not seeing a whole lot of negative funding, which would indicate that shorts are paying longs. And so this is a good sentiment to say, okay, we're kind of right in the middle. We have been all night, so I'd say this is pretty even.
Dude, man, this is just. They are really trying to get us to a point where we don't know what way this is about to go, and it's about to go in a big, fast move, dude.
So everything's negative across the board, which tends to. And look at oil, man, 121.22. I mean, your background is in the energy business. It's been a long time since we've seen these kind of prices.
I think we're gonna see $140 a barrel this summer.
I mean, I would not doubt it with the things that are happening with Russia, China, Taiwan, Ukraine. All those things are being very disruptive, and so. But we've got gold flat and to the downside, which generally if stocks are down, gold is up. As a hedge, but all asset classes seem to be down at this point. So we'll just have to see. Even though these were lower earlier as far as the futures are concerned, so these numbers have actually recovered somewhat. As we mentioned, today is Thursday, the 9th. We've got initial jobless claims at 229. Wow, that's a big number. And so that's not good. That's not good at all. Continuing jobless claims really hasn't moved, but this number here, this 229, this 2,000. 200,000.
202,000.
Yeah, it's early. Is not a good number, especially when it's over those. So that would tell us an initial claim that the economy is indeed slowing down here in the U.S. And so again, we've got some big numbers coming out tomorrow on the CPI. And so this number with this number, we've got real household net worth. The other interesting part about this is that we hadn't talked about this, but this consumer credit came in at on Tuesday at 38 billion. It means down from 47 billion from last year, but still 38 billion over 35 billion that was estimated. Means that, and again, we had talked a little bit about credit behavior and what that looks like. And so, folks haven't slowed down using credit cards, but, jobless claims have gone up. So a little bit of concerning. And then this will be the finale for the week coming in at the.
What do you think what kind of numbers do you think we're gonna see? Let's just play a hypothetical guess here.
I mean, the estimates have to be pretty high because of the energy prices. I mean, 8% is kind of what we're talking about. So for 8.3% last year, I'll just go out there. I'll say 8.5.
I'm going at 8.7.
8 point. Okay. What are we putting on that? A hamburger?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Down at your spot because you guys got some really good hamburgers.
We'll put a hamburger on it. So I got
Deal.
8.5, you got 8.7. So
Done.
we'll see what we'll see. We'll see where we come. Watch we come in at 8.6. So so that's I mean that's all I got. I mean we've got looks like that was a kind of a stop hunt to the low that happened this morning. So we're at 852. Seeing a little bit of recovery. But what do we got on high block? What do we have on? Good
Well,
old
let's see. As you guys can see here, this is High Block Capital. And to be honest with you, man, we are just slightly on the downside here with the short liquidations. However, so we have just a few more short liquidations than we do long liquidations. So we're still kind of hovering in the middle. Nothing too drastic here. I mean, negative 313 million. That ain't shit for this market. We see numbers in the billions. So, what does this tell? What is this going to bring into the picture? We had that little stop onto the low that we talked about. We didn't break that last lower low. We're working our way back up through the channel. 1824 is going to be kind of a key area. If we break through that next area, really, we're looking up here around 1858. If we get up to 1858, the next spot we're looking for is 1883 because there's a big short liquidation up there. And I really don't believe that they're going to just leave that guy hanging. So pay attention to what happens when we get up into that range. If we get there, 1883 again is kind of the key point. And then if we break 1916, I would expect prices to at least get back up into the $2,000 range. So those are kind of key areas to pay attention to as we move to the upside. Again, the low 1700s. That's kind of the breaking point and the existing support range that we have. We break below that, guys. There's not a whole lot of key areas left to hold us from seeing a catastrophic drop. So, and I kind of get that feeling that catastrophic drop is it's right around the corner, bro. I got a feeling about that.
But, yeah, I mean, we talked about that wick on the Bitcoin side. I mean, it's there. I mean, that and we've seen that those can be recovered.
All right. So I'm definitely in agreement with you there. It's a matter of when, really not a matter of if at this point. As you can see here on Bookmap, we're trading right here in the middle of this where the orders are at. As you can see, they literally just pulled that order as I just said that. So I mean, we're looks like they're going to try to be moving price up here pretty quick. We have about 1785. That's kind of a key area right now, and then we're slowly starting to move our way up. We're getting into high volume nodes here, so it's going to take us a minute to get through this area, but then we should just kind of start cruising our way up. It looks like we're going to start moving up here. It looks like. How high will we go? I don't know. We still have long-term liquidity right here at 1700, so do pay attention to that. And again, this 1830 area is kind of the edge of this chart volume profile. 1920 is the top of the session volume profile, and then we have 1720 here. So we're really sitting right here in the middle of the range. We're right here close to our POCs. We're sitting right here on the VWAP. We're sitting and waiting on whatever move they're working on getting kicked out to us, and them deciding which way the market's going to do. I guess they're probably waiting on retail to kind of see if retail wants to, put some more orders in here, or if they want to, we want to trade at a different range. So right now, like I said, we're just hanging around 1800. The same thing we've been doing for the last 24 hours. But there are orders right above us and right below us. So 1785, And then right now, 1830, like, so when we get to those points, be looking for the breakout or the rejection. We got the bounce down here around 1785 while ago. We bounced off of that. We're working our way up. So I imagine as long as we get past 1800 here in a minute, we'll go ahead and cycle up to this 1830 area. Once we get to the 1830 area, two things are going to happen. We're going to get rejected again, or we're going to have that momentum and we're going to continue to the upside. So do pay attention to those key areas. And looks like we may be coming back down here right now to retest the 1785 one more time. Again, and then same thing will happen with that. We're either going to bounce or we will continue to the downside. So pay attention to those key areas today. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day. We're also going to be a little early tomorrow. I'm going to be here at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for the show. I got some stuff going on. So anyway, that's all we got for today. Until next time,